Hi, my name is Ria, and for my final impromptu speech, I decided to talk about paralanguage. Paralanguage is something that personally I've learned a lot from this communication semester, so I decided it was a good skill to talk about. Um, Sometimes when I speak, I tend to find myself speaking too loudly or too quietly without subconsciously understanding it, and with like learning about paralanguage, it kind of helped me understand a bit more in detail over um, what exactly like I'm kind of going over and how I could like kind of correct myself with that. Paralanguage kind of goes over um, I believe 4 or 5 kind of tips. So it goes over pitch, which is when you talk louder or when you talk quieter. And it goes over volume when you talk softer, when you talk softer, when you talk harsher. Um, it goes over uh, inflections, which is your emphasis onto certain words to expand your point, especially useful in debates that I used to do and that I had a couple this semester, and it really helped me understand and was able to get my point across. Um, there's also uh, the speed and rate that you're talking at, which we will talk about a little later, and then um, kind of silence will also work at it as you're kind of heeding your time to pay attention to others, or you're communicating with your means of deciding to stay quiet and not talking to others. So we're going to lead into the example that I had for the situation where paraphrasing is commonly seen, and then how it's like how I've personally seen it throughout my semester. But it's common, like I know my entire lecture hall class for biology this semester, we had a professor who would stand at the front of the classroom, and there were all these uh, big classrooms, big like 4 sets of stairs. Like it was like a little theater room, and we had to kind of like we had to put a lot of emphasis into hearing to hear what our professor was saying some of the times, especially during the start of the semester. So we managed to communicate with her to ask her to either use a mic or talk louder, which she did. And it was just kind of like, even when you'd go up to her, sometimes she'd be quiet because like she wouldn't be trying to yell like she was before when we couldn't hear her. So it was just kind of like that was a kind of a situation where we were understandably like using paralanguage. And another one that happened like a lot more personally to me, I guess, in my current life schedule was more when I'm talking to my parents or talking to my friends. I have tendencies to either be like really, really quiet so they can't hear me and they have to keep like just asking me what I said, or I'd be really loud and they'll ask me to tone it down. And so this semester I kind of tried to balance the ratio, and after like studying paralanguage for a little bit, I was able to find find an equal balance, and I haven't like find an equal balance that was good enough and helpful enough for other people. Because personally, you won't be able to hear, or at least I won't be able to hear when I do talk too loudly because it will sound normal for me. Um, but it was something I noticed kind of near the get go, but didn't really pick it up until later on. But I guess like confidence was also kind of a key at the start. But even if I was confident at times, I would end up finding myself like, if I wasn't confident, if I did feel confident, sorry, I would want to go and do something. It would end up feeling like I was ready and prepared for it, but then when I was talking, it sounded like I was quivering, or like I was just like being too quiet and unable to really voice out what I was saying. It was a really, I would say that paralanguage was a successful skill in communication. It really takes a lot from it. You can't really communicate without it. Um, it is what you use in every single conversation you have. It is what's being exposed, and but without understanding the tip or the skill, I wouldn't have been able to understand and analyze myself a lot further. So the whole fact that it really helped me out quite a bit is what really shocked me overall.